Welcome to another big celebrity red carpet event. It's coming up in just a few moments. We're going to find out how do you know if you're in love, if you're in denial. And I'm Brett Chukerman.
And I'm Shira, Lazar. And of course, we're coming to you from Westwood. This is an amazing premiere. People are already packing the streets. We're going to have Owen Wilson, Paul Rudd, Reese Witherspoon, Jack Nicholson, all the stars of the movie. Of course, check it out in theaters December 17th. We'll be bringing you all the action from the red carpet. Besides the fact it's Reese Witherspoon, what was it about her and the character that you felt drawn to her portraying it?
I saw Walk the Line. I know how funny she is. I know how adept she is at comedy. And then I saw that performance, and I went to her before I wrote a word. She seemed, if you're trying to nail a contemporary heroine right now, in exactly what's going on right now, I think she's the girl.
And then what's the process? How do you bring in these really interesting, dynamic male characters to complement her and create this full project?
Well, the initial premise was two people who meet on the worst night of their lives. That's Reese and Paul.
Which you did accomplish.
And then this character, Maddie, that Owen plays, it was supposed to be a one-scene part, and then I loved the character so much it changed the story, and he stayed in.
Right now, speaking of, we've got Owen Wilson.
We're live on YouTube. How's it going?
On YouTube?
On the YouTube.
That's right.
It happens live now?
That's
We
right.
do that. Technology creates.
So be careful what you say. We can't edit it later.
Can't edit it.
No.
Good.
No.
It's just
Be inappropriate, please.
freedom.
So I gotta ask you about this character for a minute. Do you consider yourself a player in real life, or are you a little bit more like the Paul Rudd character?
Well, it's I guess we all have both characters in us, don't we? I think most men do. Although he probably doesn't even consider himself a womanizer. I think he just considers himself a good host.
And somebody just asked us, they want to know from you, is Jack Nicholson fun to work with on set?
Yeah, it's incredible to be able to
a
work
little
with.
scary?
You worked with him before?
No, I'd never met him before.
No
I'd never
way.
met him. I was just like everybody else on Earth, a major Jack Nicholson fan, and so to be able to work with him was absolutely incredible, and to be able to, do a scene several times and see somebody that good change it so many times and still be amazing every single time, and then. I felt like I was doing scenes with him and felt like I was watching a Jack Nicholson movie. It was kind of surreal.
And apparently you love Catherine Hahn too. You're doing two more movies with her?
Yeah. And she was in Anchorman. I think I've worked with Catherine 5 times or something, but 2 more since this, yeah.
So, of course, Catherine Hahn plays Annie in the film. I have to ask you, are you comfortable now with the baby between Hung and now this?
Honey,
or is it just natural?
That pregnancy, the Hung one was not, that was a prosthetic. I would not do that to my unborn child.
And this one was real, though. You were really pregnant.
This was very real, yeah. My daughter May was in my belly kicking me.
Well,
basically
you
the
look
entire-
gorgeous. You didn't have a
that's-
baby.
No, thank you. A year and a half. I keep telling everyone I just had her. She's like a year. She's like 19.
Yes, what about working with Reese and doing those scenes together?
She was so gracious. She understood it was my first time, my first movie. So she was a total sweetheart about giving me little pointers and tips and things like that. So
What's a Reese tip? I want to hear what that's like.
well, our very first scene was us running down the National Mall, and the camera's on a little scooter, whatever that is, and we have to run, and the script says I run faster than her, so I took off. I just ran, and all of a sudden the crew kind of slows down, she slows down, and I'm like, woo, I made it, all right. And she comes up and she's like, you can't run past the camera, honey. I was like, oops, okay, thank you.
Tell us about this film and training and getting involved.
Well, it was a lot of work. They asked me to play this character, and I had about 6 months to get in shape, so I started working out with Sue Inquist, the head coach of the UCLA softball team for 13 years, and she just trained me, and I worked with a lot of Olympians, and we did all that kind of stuff.
We met some of the Olympians
You did?
earlier. Now
Yes,
they said you can hold your own. Can you? If we get a bat out right now, would you?
Oh, I wouldn't put money on me.
Now with a bit of an unconventional storyline and sort of feeling lost in love, did you relate to that? Did you feel like you had a real personal connection to the journey that this character went on?
Yes.
Do you mind my asking?
Yes, I do.
Let's get real.
Let's get personal. Yeah, of course. I mean, who can't relate to having questions about love and relationships and all that kind of stuff? I think that's sort of the the dynamic, the dialogue of our lives, you know?
Speaking of being a jock, we've got thousands of people watching on YouTube, and people are submitting questions, and we've got one from Coach Bastian who wants to know how challenging it was for you to do the training and shoot the softball scenes.
It was really hard. I mean, I don't have a typical softball body, they told me. So I was a gymnast, you know, and I'm a runner and a gymnast, so, you know, I have a tendency to go up, it was hard. It was hard because you have to lower your center of gravity, so it was hard.
The Olympians said you did a fantastic job.
They were so awesome. They would give me such great tips, and sometimes I'd give them all at once. I was so overwhelmed.
What was it like meeting Obama, stopping by the White House?
It was great. It was amazing. Paul and I were tripping out. It was so fun. We were just decided we wanted to take a tour of the White House, and we were sort of taking a tour of the White House, and we couldn't believe we got into the White House to take a tour, and then we got a note that he wanted to meet us.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us. In theaters December 17th. Good night, guys. Thanks so much.
Happy holidays.